Hi guys, welcome back to Blondie Reels. Today, I will explain an American thriller movie called Shattered. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins with Chris, a young entrepreneur who owns a company that specializes in home security, does his morning routine at his home in Montana. He currently lives alone as his marriage is on the brink of divorce. Out of the blue, he gets a call from his wife, Jamie, telling him to sign his divorce papers, but Chris doesn't seem ready to let her go. But it's too late even after he revealed he was selling his company. Chris has been too focused on his company the whole time and he doesn't put her and his daughter first, so she makes it clear that she's going ahead of him. Later, he goes to the nearby grocery store to buy some ice cream. Unexpectedly, he meets a sopping woman in a yellow jacket who asks for advice on buying wine. She later introduces herself as Sky. Outside her shop, Sky is approached by Chris, who offers her to go home to her, to which she agrees. After some time, they finally arrived at the motel. Sky claims that she lives with a roommate named Lisa, and they both just had a big altercation, which is the main reason she ran away. Chris invites her to stay at his house for the night, but Sky initially refuses and gets out of the car. However, Sky seems hesitant to enter her room. So Chris reverses the car and asks if he changes his mind. She eventually accepts the offer and they both go to see Chris. Upon arrival, both begin to get to know each other. Sipping store-bought wine, Chris tells Sky that he's a former fellow and that he's retiring early because Google Play heavily funded his home security app Watchdog. Then the young woman claims she used to work as a model in LA, but she hated being a living mannequin and now works in a bar. Take him to the cellar and give her the most expensive wine there. The next day, Sky wakes up early and decides to go back to the motel by herself. It turns out that they didn't quarrel and Lisa is very worried about her. It is also revealed that the motel is owned by Lisa and Sky is staying there for free. The women argue and Sky seems to be offended by Lisa's remarks. Meanwhile, Chris feels guilty about sleeping with another woman, but is happy with the new woman he's met. They go for a walk after work. There, Sky confesses that she never had her family and that his childhood was a nightmare. Shortly afterward, they encounter a man trying to break into Chris' car. Chris tries to negotiate, but Sky aggressively throws a bottle at Punk, angrily breaking Chris' leg with an iron bar. Because of this, Chris' leg was seriously injured and he was forced to sit in a wheelchair. To repay his kindness, Sky offers to care for him until he can walk again. Chris cannot turn down her offer as he has started to fall in love with her. He also wants her to move into his house. There he gives her a secret code to access her house, which is fully secured with her keys. Shortly thereafter, Sky shows up at the motel in a hurry and quickly packs up. Lisa urges her not to go because he loves his girlfriend, but Sky manages to persuade her. She then rejoins Chris, and the two begin to grow closer. The next day, Ronald, the motel landlord, knocks on Lisa's door to collect her rent, but to no avail. He then breaks into her room and finds Lisa's dead body in the bathtub. The next morning, Chris wakes up and finds his phone on the table. He accidentally learns of Lisa's death on TV, and eventually, he becomes a little suspicious of her new girlfriend when Sky comes home with a bucket of fried chicken and eats her like crazy. Chris then informs her of Lisa's death, but Sky doesn't seem to mind at all. She openly admits that she is the perpetrator. To her surprise, she confesses that she made her conscious decision to live together for the past 2 months so that she could observe Chris' activities through a telescope from a very strategic location. So our first encounter at the grocery store was no accident. Feeling betrayed by her, Chris becomes angry and tells her to leave. However, with Chris' phone in their possession, there's not much he can do as the house is under their control. She straps him to a wheelchair and she admits all she wants is his money, because Chris doesn't want to give out his bank account password. Sky tortures him by piercing his wounded leg. Meanwhile, Ronald accidentally discovers a telescope while cleaning Lisa's room. He took a look and found that Sky was targeting Chris' house. Back at home, Sky successfully transferred all of Chris' money into her bank account. The next day, she kindly forces Chris to liquidate all of his shareholders in order to fund Sky's new venture, Sky Corporation. Chris then tries to choke her, but Sky manages to stab him in the shoulder. She then threatens to hurt her wife and daughter if he still does not want to cooperate. Sometime later, Kiju, a man who injured Chris' leg, shows up at the house. It turns out he was invited by Sky, who wants to sell Chris wine and art collection to him. Ronald sneaks into the house through a window while the Sky disappears. Before helping Chris get free, the old man demands rescue money from him. So Chris gave him a Picasso work worth $7 million. He then helps remove the tape from his wrist. Just before they can escape, Sky appears and blocks all exit doors and windows. Ronald picks up a knife and tries to escape until he is cornered. Left with no other choice, he tries his luck at killing a psychopath. However, she is equipped with a katana and can easily defeat the old man. Meanwhile, Chris takes this opportunity to escape on his motorcycle, but ends up falling off the motorcycle. Unfortunately, instead of going to the police station, this man took him back home to meet with Sky again. Sebastian is Sky's stepfather and trained her to be a thief. However, Sky does not buy it, noting that Chris still has a lot of money in the American Bank safe deposit box. Sebastian quickly cuts off his finger when he realizes he needs the thumbprint to get into the vault. Jamie and Willow arrive at Chris' house in the morning. The woman finds herself a little crazy, but it's too late for her. When Sky manages to find Willow, she locks his entire family in her storage room. Then Sky and Sebastian go to the bank. Upon arrival, they are greeted by a bank employee and successfully go through the biometrics process with Chris's thumb. Unfortunately, when he opened the safe, he found that all of the money had been transferred by Jamie elsewhere. Then they go straight home. Chris eventually finds the room has a vent and asks Willow to crawl out of the room and unlock the door from the outside. Shortly after Willow enters the passcode, a couple of psychopaths arrive at the house to kill Chris. They search the entire house until Sebastian finds Chris and beats him up. When Sky pulls a gun on Chris, Sebastian keeps urging him to shoot Chris, and she loses control and shoots Sebastian instead. Chris takes this opportunity to get the phone and escapes to another room. He turns off all the lights and deliberately makes noise to distract her. As Sky approaches him, Chris appears from behind and stabs Psycho, but she fights back. Shortly thereafter, James also shows up to save her husband, but neither can compete with the Sky. When the couple is cornered, they are suddenly shot Sky from behind. Surprisingly, it is Willow who fires the gun. Shortly thereafter, the police finally arrived at the house. With her last breath, Sky reveals to Chris that her real name is Margaret. And here our movie ends. Hope you like the video. For more videos like this, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you.